Have you ever started a new health plan with all the motivation in the world, only to burn out a few weeks later? And let's be real, sometimes it doesn't even take a few weeks. But chances
Why do we keep going back to quick fixes, even when we know they don't work?
Welcome to the Coaches Hotline. Glucose, grit, and grace. Real talk with coaches, no sugarcoating.
We're here to help you ditch the diet cycle, stabilize blood sugar, and finally feel at home in your body.
Because health isn't about restriction, it's about freedom, energy, and confidence.
Let's dive in.
Hello. Welcome back to the Coaches Hotline, Glucose, Grit, and Grace. I'm Coach Amber, and I'm here with Coach Elaine and Coach Elaine. And today we're talking about why. Have you ever started a new health plan with all the motivation in the world, only to burn out a few weeks later? And let's be real, sometimes it doesn't even take a few weeks. But chances are you weren't anchored in your deeper why. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. So last time we broke down blood sugar, or what happens when it spikes, when it crashes, and why keeping it stable is truly the foundation for lasting health. But here's the thing: knowing the science behind blood sugar stabilization isn't enough. If your mindset isn't in the right place, if you don't know the deeper reason why you're doing this, you're going to keep falling back into old patterns. And anybody who has spent longer than one dieting knows exactly what I mean. So, in today's episode, we are talking about your why, not the surface level goals like losing 10 pounds or fitting into those jeans, but really the deeper reason why you want to feel better, why you want to live longer, why you want to show up fully for the people and the moments that matter. So, we're going to uncover what a why really is, and why it is so powerful, and how it can keep you grounded when willpower fades. And that's where the grit and grace come in. So let's dive into it.
So we're going to start talking about this why, because it's the driving reason behind why you care about your health in the first place. I mean, I don't know if you were like me, watching our parents age and seeing how maybe one set of parents were aging well, where they were still active and could still do things. And then there was another set of parents that were aging poorly, and you couldn't, they couldn't get up easily off of their chair. These are the things that start to drive our questions about our health and us taking care of our health, right? So, what exactly is our why? In simple terms, it's really the heart of your motivation. It's that deeper reason that pulls you forward when the journey feels hard. Because face it, getting healthy is not a quick fix, it's not a fast journey. It can be long and it can be hard. So it's more than I want to lose 10 pounds, or I want to look pretty in a picture for a wedding, or I want to fit into those jeans I've had in the back of my closet for 20 years. So those are goals, but they're really surface level goals, and they are measurable, but they're not deep enough to really keep you from um, veering off, or in old dieting vernacular, being on or off a plan, right? Because if you think about, gosh, I want to look good in this dress for this wedding, but this wedding is 6 months away and there's a piece of cake sitting in front of you. 6 months away sounds like a really long time, and today's cake isn't going to matter too much. But if you have a deeper why than I want to look good in a picture, then what you do today really does matter. So let's like make this real. Your why is like the roots of a tree. The goals are the leaves, and they can change with the season, but the roots, they're what keep the tree alive and growing. They're what feeds the tree. So your why is what keeps you grounded when life throws storms your way. So a surface level goal could be, I want to lose weight, right? But a deeper why might be, I want to be present and energetic with my grandkids, to run in the yard and not sit on the sidelines. Or I want to be strong and healthy enough that I can carry my suitcase along the cobblestone streets of Europe and not be huffing
Nice.
and puffing all the time, right?
Yeah.
So maybe your surface goal is, I want to fit into those old jeans, but maybe your why is, I want to break this generational pattern of diabetes and heart disease that's in my family. Or perhaps it's something like, I want to feel confident in my own skin. And I know I'm doing everything I can to prevent disease so I can live a long, vibrant life. So these are the deeper reasons that carry emotional weight. They light us up and they keep us moving forward, even on the days where you'd rather hit snooze or skip the workout or have the cake that's in front of you. So what I love about what we coach is that we talk about this. This is like the first thing that we talk about with our clients, because it's something that no other diet plan talks about. They talk about those surface level goals, right, guys? They talk about, let's lose weight, let's get, let's make muscles, whatever. They jump straight into the how, the meal plan, the workout schedule, the shiny promise of fast results. But really, what happens when that initial excitement fades? Because it always does, right? Motivation is not a strategy, and willpower is not a strategy. But with this powerful why, willpower, when it runs out, won't this powerful why will keep you moving when that willpower runs out, when that motivation is gone. So without a powerful why, a lot of people will yo-yo between plans and they feel like they're failing. They think that they're weak. But what it is that you were never asked to think about this, to think about why you want to get healthy, right? So when you discover your why, everything shifts. And it's no longer just about the jeans or the vacation. It's about creating a life you love and protecting the people and experiences that matter most. And that kind of motivation, it doesn't fade. When the novelty wears off, it only deepens.
Yeah, Elaine, that was awesome. I'm going to jump in here and we're going to talk about, well, this one really does hit home for me because you're so right. That's one of the reasons why the first thing we talk about is our why. Because if our why isn't strong, then it's going to be hard that when times get hard, it actually makes it to the point that we're struggling. If we can get a strong why, that's going to help us through those tough times, like you mentioned. And that kind of brings us to that mindset connection. When we don't have a clear why, every healthy choice we make feels like a task or a chore, or why do I want to do this? It's that little voice that says, I should eat better. I should exercise. I should probably get more sleep. And the I shoulds don't really get us anywhere. But when we can connect to our why, it really flips the script. It turns that I should, we used to call those I shoulda all over myself. Okay. So it turns that I should into I want. I want to eat a balanced meal because I want steady energy. I want to lift weights because I want to be strong enough to travel and play with my grandkids, like you mentioned. That shift from an obligation to a desire is powerful.
Yeah.
So having that desire is going to give us so much more. So then let's talk about those emotional anchors versus willpower. If you followed us or PFC3 or anything at one time, we know that willpower is not long-term. It's not sustainable. And the truth is that willpower is like the phone, like the battery on your phone. All right. It runs out fast. And I can tell you, my phone is 3 years old right now. So my battery doesn't last nearly as long as it did. All right. But your why, if I have my why, it's like the charger. It's like when I plug it in, it keeps me grounded when things get messy or chaotic. The willpower is going to say, don't eat the cookie. My why is going to say, I'm fueling my body so I can stay independent into my 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s. And which one do you think lasts longer? So I can tell you my personal why. I actually keep it. It's taped to my monitor. All right. And I look at it every day. For me, my why is I want to live a happy, active life without having to depend on my kids or anyone else to take care of me. I want to hike in my 70s, garden in my 80s, and maybe even keep lifting in my 90s, which I think is important. Regardless of your age, you need to do that strength training. That picture of my life is what motivates me on the days when I'd rather skip the workout or grab that cookie, right? So that why is very personal to me. It is my personal why, and it is what keeps me going when I'm struggling. Because let's be real. Every day is not perfect.
No.
Every day is going to have its challenges. I can also tell you that with my clients, that's one of the things, and I think, Elaine, you mentioned, that's one of the first things we look at when we start on this journey is your why. And again, if that's not strong, and you may have a why that looks like this. We don't want to lament over it too much. It can change. I can tell you, I revisit my why probably every couple of months. Because I have it posted here, it reminds me, okay, is that still where I want to be?
Mm-hmm.
And it still is the same, but I can tell you I get much more detailed in my why. So I have a client who, and I've seen the power of this as well as they have. I had someone tell me that they felt they got their life back. The doctor actually has taken them off of medications. They recently had a stress test. They'd had one about a year ago and was told that that stress test over a year ago showed a heart anomaly. They said the best they could hope for is that it would stay status quo, but typically it gets worse. But this person just went for a recent stress test in the last month. And instead of getting worse, it actually improved. That anomaly was healing itself. So yeah, isn't that amazing?
That is amazing.
Yeah. And it wasn't counting calories or dieting that did it. It was because, number one, their why. You can count calories forever, but you're going to get bored with that. We all know that things are exciting at first. And then when it's not exciting anymore, we've got to go back to that why. Mm-hmm. This person wanted their health back so they could fully live in their life and run around, and specifically run around with their grandkids and be able to go to their soccer games and be able to play with them and you know, do the horsey back rides and everything else that you might want to do. And this person's why is what made them consistent. So think about that, because your why is going to help you with that consistency. And then we have resilience. And here's the thing about that. Your why is what helps you bounce back when you fall off the tracks. Because let's be honest, we're all going to do it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Vacations, holidays, stressful weeks. I know I've kind of had a not big stress, but somewhat of a stressful week. But they're going to happen. You can pretty much guarantee they're going to happen. But when your why is clear, and when you keep that in the forefront of your mind, you don't spiral. You just say, okay, I'm doing this so I can live the life that I want. And then you reset. Resilience is everything.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, Amber, do you kind of want to, I'm sorry. I think it's Elaine. I know you've coached a lot of people through the why process. What have you uncovered about their why? How do you help them get past the surface level Because we know if it's not a deep why, it's not necessarily going to stick with us. So how do you help them get past the surface level answers and find the real thing?
Right. Yeah. It's kind of hard because we're trained to be surface level, right? That's what
Yeah.
we've always done. That's what we've always thought about. Before I talk about that, though, Elaine, how powerful. I love that analogy that you gave that our why is like the power cord
Yeah.
to our battery, that like keeps us grounded and keeps us focused. All of these things are so very important when we're thinking about our health long term. And that's what we do, right? Is we think long term. We're not thinking, I'm going to just power through this for 20 days and be done with it.
Yeah.
We're building a lifestyle. And that's the other reason why this is so important. So, what are you going to do today that leads you to that lifestyle that you want to have later? And something that I work with my clients on a lot is when they first tell me, what their why is. It's sometimes pretty surface, sometimes it's deeper. Like mine was what I alluded to earlier. Mine was I was watching my husband's mother age and my mother age, and they were about the same age. But my mother was still like going to exercise class 4 times a week, and she still drove and she still travels and, does all these things at 87 years old. Whereas my mother-in-law at 82 could barely get herself up out of a chair and couldn't walk very far. And I had that very poignant example right in front of me that helped me realize what path I wanted to travel and that I needed to do something different. But a lot of people don't get that. And so I always ask them to frame their why in a so that. So if you say,
Mm.
I want to live a healthy, long life, well, what does that mean? I want to live a healthy, long life so that I can travel and lift my suitcase into the overhead bin by myself, even when I'm 80 or 90 years old. Or I want to get healthy so that I can hold my grandkids or my great grandkids, and my daughter doesn't have to be nervous that I'm going to drop them. There's these very when you kind of frame it into an action that you want to complete, then you can go deeper in your why.
Yeah.
So, Amber, you actually have a
Mhm.
really practical way to kind of get to that deeper framework, that deeper action. Can you
Yeah.
explain to us what that is?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was just thinking about why our first answer is typically surface level, and it's because that's how everything is advertised. It's lose 20 pounds, fit into those old jeans, and so this is everything that has been thrown out. So if that's the way it's being sold, of course that I have to figure out how to relate that to me. And well, I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to fit into those old jeans. And so we stop there. But there is a method called the 5 whys, and it was actually developed by an engineer at Toyota,
Love this.
because they were really trying to dig down into the root cause of problems that they were having in their manufacturing and their development, things of that nature. Um, but this is a really powerful tool that you can use with yourself. We can use it with our clients. Um, and it really can help you dig down so that you get that so that. Okay. So it's a process where you literally ask yourself why 5 times in a row. And the goal is to dig deeper than the first answer that we've all been conditioned to give. Like, I want to lose 20 pounds, or I just want to be skinny. Those answers are surface level, like we've been talking about, and they don't last. But if you keep asking why, then you really do get to uncover the real purpose for health. So let me show you an example. Let's say someone says, I want to lose weight. Okay, why do you want to lose weight? And they might answer, so I can feel good in my clothes. All right, well, then why do you want to feel good in your clothes? Well, because I want to feel confident when I walk in a room. Why is that important? because I'm tired of hiding and sitting on the sidelines. And then one more why. The fifth answer might be because I want to show up fully for my family and myself without shame holding me back. And do you hear how that's so much more grounded and powerful than I want to lose 20 pounds?
Yeah. Wow. That's really powerful. And
Mhm.
really, I can think of times when my first answer to almost anything is totally surface level because you don't take the time to really consider the depth of what it
Mhm.
can be for you. But really, once I kept digging that, the real reason just like really hit you. It's like, oh my gosh, it's so much deeper than just surface.
Mhm.
Same here. I know, like I said earlier, my first why used to be focused on a number on the scale. It's
Mhm.
like I want to be this way, and I won't be happy until I get there. But now it's about being present, being able to go to my grandson's baseball games, and not hurt and not have trouble walking out in the 90-degree weather and carrying my lawn chair and stuff. It's also what I really like about this is many times we're influenced by our why, by marketing and commercials,
Yes.
Mhm.
you know? So by going deeper, that may be a start, but by going deeper, it really keeps us going.
Mhm.
This really seems hard though, because we're not used to thinking about ourselves,
Yeah.
especially as women and what we want. And I know all of us are Enneagram 9. And so that's a very foreign concept to think about what we want. So how do we overcome that block when we're used to thinking of others first and not ourselves first? What are some ways that we can overcome that?
I would say really, really digging down deep and rooting it in what your purpose is. I fully believe, and I think we all do, that we're here for a purpose. And it's not to find the best diet out there, right? And
Mhm.
so if you are healthy enough and strong enough to, live out that purpose, then I mean that's the secret sauce. Your willpower, as we've been talking about, is always going to fade. Diets are truthfully designed to fail. That's why the industry keeps growing because people keep coming back. But your why, nobody can take that from you. That's what keeps you grounded. It gives you the grit to keep moving forward with grace.
I
And
think
so here's, oh, go ahead.
so
I'm sorry.
sorry.
Sorry. Yeah,
I think
please.
part of that is also putting on our own oxygen mask first,
Yes.
because unless we do that, we're not going to be able to help our kids or our family members or other people. So we have to think about ourselves, because in reality, and thinking about ourselves, and that's hard to do, but in thinking about ourselves, it actually is going to help us help others later.
Mhm.
True. I also think too that we need to remember that we don't live in a bubble or a vacuum,
Mm.
and it's important to talk to other people about it, especially our family members. If we want our family
Mhm.
members to support us, we need to tell them why we're on this journey. And when that why is deeper than I just want to lose 10 pounds, if we come to our husband and say, I want to do this program because I want to lose 10 pounds, our husband's going to say, yeah. And the last time you lost 10 pounds, what happened? You know what I mean? But if
Right.
we talk about the depth of, I don't want our kids to have to take care of me when we're
Yeah.
older, then you can often get family support around you. And then that makes it a lot easier to continue and to do the things that you need to do for your health.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
um, do you guys have any ideas of maybe some mindset strategies that can help us with our why?
So here's one thing that I would like to invite everybody to do today. I want you to take just 5 minutes, and anybody can 5 minutes, even if you're crazy busy today. And I want you to write down the first answer to why do I want better health? Okay. Then I want you to ask yourself why. Why do I want better health? And then write that down. And then after the fifth time, you more than likely have really dug into your true why, And if you want, you can always ask it a sixth time. There's actually no rule about five, but five typically is enough to dig you down. But when you get to the why that gives you goosebumps, that's the real why.
Or tears in
that's
your eyes.
exactly, and that's what stays with you. So show up for yourself 5 minutes today and just start asking yourself why.
And then maybe when you get there, maybe visualize what that would look like. Picture yourself as an older person doing these things that you say that you want to do, because that's powerful for your brain.
Yeah.
It gives your brain a picture to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think getting rid of that negative talk. I don't know how many times I've heard people say, well, I'm just the old fat person, or I can't do this. You really shouldn't be talking to yourself. You should love yourself and just say, hey, I may be a little bit slower now, but we're working on it. So, it's the negative talk is not going to help you, even if you're joking, because that hurts.
Because your brain doesn't know you're joking. It just
Exactly.
hears what you said.
Yeah.
And, like when we say those things, we are absolutely the loudest voice that we hear. And when we say it to ourselves, we start to believe it. One of the benefits of working with a coach in this area is that we're really here to help you remember that what you've just said, what you've just thought, isn't the truth. It may be an old narrative that you've developed over the time, but everybody in here is worthy. Everybody in here is capable. And sometimes you need an outside source that you don't call mom, brother, or sister, or dad to say, hey, I see your value and I know you can do this. And that's one of the really powerful things I think about coaching that I love the most, is that I get the opportunity to lift people up. And I know you ladies do the same thing as well.
Yes, that's the best part.
It's very powerful. So, Elaine, how do we get this why and this new way of thinking and translate it into maybe actions that will make a difference for us?
Love that.
Yeah, absolutely. So everything we talked about kind of leads into that. So once you've uncovered that deeper why, whether you're using the 5 whys and the so that in order to get to your so that, the next step is putting that all into action. Because a why in your brain or just sitting in your journal that you don't look at again isn't going to change your health. So we want to look at it as a compass for our daily choices. So I like to think of my why as that compass. Every choice that I make can point me towards that. For me, choosing a balanced meal isn't about just being good. It's about wanting steady energy so that I can show up for me, for my family, for my business. And it's about alignment. So I always want to make sure your compass is supposed to point north, right? But I am getting to where I need to go in order to meet what I'm looking at for my why. So every little step is going to keep you on that path. It doesn't have to be huge. It can just be little steps.
1% progress.
Absolutely.
Right. For
The
sure.
other thing is making it visible. So I showed you, I have my why taped right here to my computer monitor. Write it down. If you're not at your computer, stick it on your refrigerator, your bathroom mirror. You can even make a phone screen and put it on the lock screen of your phone, which is really powerful.
Yep.
Look at it. Like I said, review it. It's not, unfortunately, we don't live in a static world. Things change. So revisit it because it will evolve. What motivated me when I was in my 40s is different than what motivates me now in my 60s.
True.
And that's okay. Motivation is going to change. But again, we want to have that strong why.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at this from a blood sugar stabilization standpoint, here's where it ties back. Stabilizing our blood sugar isn't complicated. It's pretty simple. Protein, fat, and carbs every 3 to 4 hours. But the challenge is consistency. How consistent are we being when it comes to our why as well? When you know what you're working towards, that why, You don't quit just because the scale has stalled. And honestly, I don't even weigh myself. Doesn't matter. And I don't quit when life gets busy or chaotic or something else jumps in. We keep going because it matters, because my why matters.
Yeah.
Then lastly, if you have nothing else to take away from today, let your why be your anchor and your compass. It's your anchor when life gets messy, and your guide, your compass, that will guide you toward the choices that will let you live the life you really want. So,
I love that.
yeah. So, Amber, I know you're going to wrap up.
Yeah.
But I love that we're not just talking about habits. We're
Yes.
talking about building a life that actually lasts. That's why this is a lifestyle. It's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. We want it to last.
Yep. All right. So here are the big takeaways from today. Your why isn't just motivation, it's truly your foundation. Motivation, we all know, fades. I've been motivated a bazillion times and I've lost it just as many. But your why keeps you steady when things get hard, when life shows up, because life's always going to show up. So, again, here's your action step. Take a few quiet minutes today, write down your why, ask why it matters, and do that 5 times. Go deeper each time. And when you have it, just like Elaine was saying, put it somewhere you see it every single day. And I love the idea of putting it on your phone screen, because I'll tell you what, I look at my phone more than I look at my bathroom mirror or my refrigerator every single day. And so, and I actually have, mine actually says, I'm not starting over, I'm starting stronger. And so, really, those affirmations that you can put on your phone screen, I see it every single time. And it can be really powerful. So, next week, we're going to be talking about something that goes hand in hand with this. It's how stress and self sabotage can completely derail your health journey, the mindset shifts that help you take back control. And you definitely don't want to miss that one. And we'd love to hear from you. So, share your why with us in the chat, or send us an email. The email address is in the show notes, and who knows, you may even hear your story featured in a future episode, because when you put your words into your why, you not only inspire yourself, but you inspire others too. So thank you for tuning in to the Coaches Hotline, Glucose, Grit, and Grace. Until next time, keep leading with your why. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.